What a world. So as of yesterday, uh, throughout the NBA, there's league rumors about whenever Avery Bradley decided to not opt in to Orlando, he opted out, and then that pretty much left the Lakers open for a starting spot, replacement for Avery Bradley. And came to sign, they went forward going with J.R. Smith. So pretty much on the show for Max Kellerman and Stephen A. Smith, Molly Karam, and Jay, we're going to be covering, their take on J.R. Smith reuniting with LeBron James on the Lakers. For my initial take on my side of things, I'm not crazy about the move. I prefer Avery Bradley over him. J.R. Smith is hovering around 34 years of age. He hasn't played since 2018, whenever he played roughly around 15 to 20 games on the Cavaliers, which that team was just a mess without LeBron. I'm not crazy about the move. I'm most likely, listen, on my side of things, I wanted the Lakers to pretty much sign Iman Shumpert because there's really no other free agents that could pretty much replace Avery Bradley. I thought Iman Shumpert can play pretty much the same exact role as Avery Bradley, as well as he is taller and has championship experience and playing with LeBron James. They decided to go the other route with J.R. Smith, who can dribble the ball, who's just a spot-up shooter. I don't know if he's worked on his handles as well as anything else in his game. They're going to make him pretty much a defensive assignment to any point guard or shooting guard on opposing teams. So he's pretty much going to have to play more defensive role. And we're going to see with LeBron James. He pretty much would bring up the ball 85 to 90% of the time. Avery Bradley would bring it up, kind of the rest of 5 to 10%. But J.R. Smith can't dribble, so LeBron's going to take it 100%. I think that's going to make the Lakers' offense very predictable, very stagnant on the half-court set. I'm not crazy about LeBron playing point guard. I'm fine with LeBron bringing up the ball 60 to 70% of the time. I think LeBron should be more of a point forward per se, like he was in 2018 with the Cavaliers, or even better when he played in a system in 2013 with the Miami Heat. But LeBron doesn't really like to play in a system. He wants the ball in his hands to pretty much make a shot or kick it out, and you have to either shoot it or give it back to him. If you go for a hockey assist, LeBron doesn't like to play that way. He likes to elevate his stats when it comes to it. But not really talking about LeBron, more on J.R. Smith. I don't really agree with the chemistry side of things. He's kind of a bonehead. I thought his chapter with LeBron should have been in the past and then he was done with. But it looks like the Lakers are going to bring him in. So I'm not too confident. I have the Lakers since the very beginning of the season to win the NBA championship. I'm going to stick with it. The team's kind of all over the place, especially with Kyle Kuzma kind of fitting out within there. Kind of expected more with him, but he's inconsistent, changing up his hair, and there's some background stuff when it comes to the Kuz, quote-unquote Kuz control. Dwight Howard, we don't even know if he's going to return. He's probably going to let us know in a week or so. So if they lose Dwight Howard, I don't know any other center they can really pick up. Maybe go back with Marcin Gortat, like they were looking at the beginning of the season. Maybe I don't really know any other center. Maybe Kenneth Faried. Besides that, let him jump in here and I'll give my take.
Shot with LeBron. We all know what happened.
Not really, because you know what? If this had happened immediately after what transpired in Oakland a few years ago when he forgot the damn score, that would be different. But I've seen JR on several occasions, at least a couple of those times with LeBron James. LeBron loves the guy, and JR is one of the good guys, and Jay knows this. Jay knows this because I'm sure you've communicated with JR. Listen, it's kind of crazy to believe, but JR.
JR, what are you thinking? I was watching that game one of the 2018 finals, and just a bonehead. I knew J.R. Smith was a bonehead. Whenever he joined the Cavaliers with LeBron, especially in 2015, dude was crazy. Man, he was – that was probably one of his best seasons ever, and LeBron literally rejuvenated him. The Cavaliers in 2015, they picked up Iman Shumpert and J.R. Smith. The Knicks pretty much gave them for free, petty cash. LeBron really switched them around. No, when it came to the finals, listen, the Cavaliers were not going to win that series anyways if J.R. Smith were able to kick it out to LeBron for a three or J.R. were to be able to hit it out. Even the Cavaliers won that game. They were pretty much going to lose in 5 games. Maybe had momentum to take one more at home, but everyone's acting like this game was like a Game 6 or Game 7. It was Game 1. But LeBron did have 51 points, one of his greatest games, an efficient perfect games of all time. So, I mean, I understand within that. But there was rumors at the beginning of the season of the Lakers to pick up J.R. Smith, let alone back into 2019, whenever J.R. was a free agent, let go of the Cavaliers. So, this is the perfect opportunity Avery Bradley's done with. So they're going to have to bring him apart. LeBron already has experience with him. LeBron's cool with him, which you can tell of it. JR is more of he understands his role when it comes to LeBron James, pretty much to not really defer, but play his role. Be a 3-and-D shooter, pretty much catch and shoot. That's it. Don't dribble the ball. Just give it all to LeBron.
Guys, you can meet, and a lot of guys in the league have a lot of love for him. He made an honest mistake in the finals. Obviously, we get all of that. But he's not a bad guy. He's not a bad teammate. He can shoot. He can get streaky. He can explode on you. He can do some good things, some big things. Plus, if you recall, at the time he was in Cleveland, he was arguably their best perimeter defender. So you take all of those things into consideration and consider the actual individual he's replacing, which is Avery Bradley, who's one of the elite on-ball defenders in the game. Avery Bradley can really defend. If you got to replace him with somebody, what are you looking for? You're looking for somebody who can defend, and you're looking for
Yeah, I mean, JR is an underrated on-ball, defender when it came to Cleveland, back here into LA. I just think it's a forced move to put him back into a team with LeBron James. I'm kind of getting the 2019 vibes from the Lakers where they were bringing in kind of rush veterans into here. But, I mean, the Lakers still have the nice makeup to win a championship, let alone compete. We don't know with the Clippers and any of these other teams. A lot of cats are catching the coronavirus. We don't know if the NBA is going to resume, let alone who's going to be playing in July, August, let alone September. So I'm still going to roll with the Los Angeles Lakers. JR knows his role. He's going to be more humbled that kind of like Dwight Howard, who was out of the league for a couple months. Same thing with Melo. Same thing with JR. He hasn't played in around a year and a half. So he's motivated. He knows this is pretty much his last shot, maybe his last season. So, I mean, you can expect to bring out peel the rest of the juice off for JR on this team.
J.R. Smith can do both things, plus his familiarity with LeBron James, what LeBron James wants, and how anxious he will be to please LeBron James and make him happy, and dare I say, make amends for that faux pas that existed a few years ago. I think all of those things lend itself towards J.R. Smith being the perfect addition to replace Avery Bradley with the Lakers. I like it, and personally, I'm happy for him.
Well, first of all, right. I mean, this is not that complicated. You're allowed to replace players if they're not available, given the circumstances, to complete the season.
Right.
So go find a better 3-and-D guy who's just hanging around than J.R. Smith, especially one who has championship experience with LeBron James. And Stephen A., to your point, and Jay, I'll give it to you after this. I don't think this one's that complicated. I don't know if it's really if this is the motivation, but certainly history will record if J.R. Smith hits a big shot in these playoffs, which will be memorable just because of the circumstances alone, and the Lakers wind up winning the championship, that will become part of NBA lore. Him making good and righting the wrong and winning a championship with the Lakers will be one of those stories that, we tell for generations. So,
I mean, that'll be nice, especially kind of a redemption for JR's part. Not going to go that far, let alone if the Lakers, who they'll be competing with in the conference or the NBA Finals, that is. I'm kind of curious if they're going to start JR. I know they're pretty much going to replace him to Avery Bradley's role, but Avery Bradley can pick up the ball and dribble it kind of as a quote-unquote, not really point guard, but a combo guard. I mean, he is 6'1". He's in a weird role. He's kind of like a Marcus Smart, but shorter. But with JR, he can't dribble the ball, so I'm trying to figure. I mean, you pretty much have Danny Green and J.R. Smith, pretty much both the same height, playing the same way, same position. I think it's going to be awkward on the floor. Again, LeBron's going to have to play 100% of the time, the point guard, bring up the ball. I'm not crazy about that, but maybe Frank Vogel will switch up the lineup. Maybe J.R. will come off the bench, and they may listen, I pretty much want Rondo to start as the point guard and put LeBron at the 3. I know LeBron is going to disagree, and it's not going to happen. I just think with Rondo, he should not come off the bench. And Rondo can start the beginning of the first half and second half, play like 6 to 7 minutes, and then he can just sit for the rest of the half and get the guys rolling and going. But pretty much going to have LeBron at the point, J.R. Smith at the 2 with Danny Green, as well as Anthony Davis and JaVale. I just want to see how it plays out. I'm not too crazy about it, but we'll see how it is.
It works great. And in terms of the basketball, he's long in the tooth, but he can probably still 3-and-D.
Here's why this is a great move. Last summer, I get a chance to go work out and watch Chris Brickley here in New York City work out all the time. I mean, every big-time NBA player comes from James Harden, Russell Westbrook, LeBron James, KD worked out there all the time. JR spent a lot of time working out with Chris Brickley. And the thing I loved about JR, regardless of his circumstance, he always stayed ready. He always stayed in game shape. And I know that people automatically go back to that one moment that he had with LeBron James and remember LeBron pointing at him about the clock. But, man, he is one of the best shooters there is in the league.
Yeah, I don't look at J.R. Smith's legacy and everything pointing to that one moment. I mean, we know J.R.'s been a bonehead, and that's something that kind of resembles, which is, pretty hilarious. No, but I look at J.R. Smith, who is a key contributor whenever he played with LeBron James, especially as a contender. He was a starting shooting guard for the Cavs when they won the championship. Huge props to him. He's a champion. He's proved it. He's come up clutch, especially in that Game 7 of the 2016 Finals. Hit back-to-back threes in a row in the beginning of the second half, which the Cavaliers were down 8. And, whenever the Warriors get momentum, they'll steamroll you. But he brought him back in the mix. And JR, he's inconsistent at times, but he's a threat from 3. So LeBron's going to love, driving, kicking back to him. And I think J.R. Smith is really going to feed off that Los Angeles energy. But the thing is, they're going to be playing in Orlando.
And he's still
but, hey, who knows how it goes,
And can be a defender. So I say this. If you're talking about the Lakers matching up with the Clippers, if that's who we have being in the Western Conference Finals, I think J.R. Smith is a really good addition because now whenever LeBron James turns that corner or AD gets in an isolated situation, if you can have J.R. Smith or Danny Green on the floor at the same time, that's shooting where you have to stay home. You cannot go on help or you can count it as a bucket. And I also give you guys one other additive piece that nobody really talks about. And I thought it was a great signing because of the leadership of LeBron James. And I give Rob Pelinka a lot of credit for this. Them getting Dion Waiters in early March, I think was a huge addition for this team. Now, I know he had issues with the Miami Heat. He wanted to play more. There was a struggle between him and management about playing. He had some issues with, some gummies on the plane and things of that sort. But if you're around LeBron James, Dion Waiters is also another guy that can go and get it, that can put the ball down the ground. Stephen A. Smith, you said the words.
Tell that to Dion Waiters back in 2015 when the Cavaliers traded him for J.R. Smith. All right, I think they traded him for JR. Maybe it was a 3-team trade. I don't remember. That's whenever he went to I think it was the Thunder. Listen, Dion Waiters, even though he had his episodes with the gummies and all that back with Miami, he's going to be a great addition to LeBron James and the Lakers. He can be, his peak can be a 6-man on that team. The Lakers don't really have a 6-man. We pretty much expected Kuzma, but he's been very consistent. I think Dion Waiters, with his experience with the Oklahoma City Thunder, going to the conference finals, he was great for them in those conference finals. He was inconsistent at times, but he pretty much knew his role. And same thing with LeBron James. I think he can be able to be elevated. That is a very underrated signing with Dion Waiters. I want to see him play and how that works out with the rest of the team. Because you have a lot of cats, a lot of guards, humble guards that are playing for minutes. You have Caruso in the mix right there. You have Danny Green, J.R. Smith, Dion Waiters, maybe even Quinn Cook from times. I think Quinn Cook should play some more, but, he hasn't been playing throughout the season as much. So, and KCP can slide at that too a couple times.
Those two guys
we'll be able
hit
to
their
see.
mark, if they start making shots, those two pieces with LeBron James and AD with the size that they have, this is a different basketball team. And we haven't seen them at full strength, but I like the makeup that they have moving.
Yeah, those two cats are pretty much inconsistent. They're great fits, but I just don't have 100% reassurance and reliability when it comes to them. But whenever they get hot, those guys can get hot.
Trey, Jay, I'm going to one-up you on that because I was raving about the Dion Waiters pickup when the Lakers acquired him as well in the spring. and I'm a fan of Deion Waiters. He slipped off a little bit. He did some things he should not have done in Miami, which he admits. But I think it was born to frustration because clearly Miami's making a youth movement with Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero and none of those boys. Again, you feel yourself being eased out, and sometimes you're not mature enough to handle it the way that you should. But that's not a crime. Deion Waiters can ball. J.R. Smith can ball. But here's the big thing that I love about him, and this is what I mean when I say I'm gonna one-up you. They got heart. Neither of them are scared. And that's incredibly important because of the Clippers. See, the Clippers believe. The Clippers came into the season, and they told me at the beginning of the season, we got 5 dogs on our squad. We got 5 Rough Riders. They might have 1. They got 1 in LeBron. That's it. That is no longer the case. We know what a big-time player Anthony Davis is, but they consider him a finesse player lacking some dog. He's going to have to prove to them that they're wrong because he's Anthony Davis. We know he can and he will because he's that big-time of a player. LeBron is LeBron, but when you got cats with those personalities like the Deion Waiters, like JR, that ain't backing down from anybody, that helps the Lakers. Does not hurt them.
Yeah, overall, pretty much, listen, losing Avery Bradley was a hit for the team. You know, kind of a positive to look at it. They were 13-1 without Avery Bradley, so they still have the makeup for their team. Adding JR can somewhat fill that role. I think that's a little bit of a downgrade per se, and they were kind of skeptical against the Clippers in the playoffs, so that pretty much puts the Lakers at a disadvantage as of right now. Plus, the big thing is looking at Dwight Howard. I mean, the guy was speaking on, everything that's been going on with his social justice, speaks and activism and all that, quote unquote. But we don't even know if he's going to be playing. And if he isn't, the Lakers are really in big trouble at the 5 slot. And even if you are trying to sign a center, there's not many big guys that can have that impact as, Dwight Howard has rejuvenated this team. I don't know, the Lakers are in a funk right now. Let's see in a couple of weeks how they play out the rest of their roster. Right now I'm not too confident when it comes to their roster. I'm still picking them to win the championship. I just think when it comes to other players with Corona on the Clippers or something. But, hey, if you're a Clippers fan right now, you should feel really good. I like the makeup of their team, their coaching, the dogs they have, the fits, the roles, as well as Kawhi leading the day. But, this is LeBron James' last stint right here. And, I'm just going to have to run with the storyline. Still going to run with LeBron and the Lakers. But right now, if you're the Lakers, you really have to get stuff clicking.